Stephen King. The man is great and has done a lot for American literature. However, the big guy has a problem, and we're going to address it. Hello, and welcome to this part of the pond, where it's the Bullfrog and the one, the only, Newt.
Face reveal at 100,000 subscribers.
It's a beautiful face, and we want the subscribers. But the real reason the subscribers are needed, you need to see the face.
The mystery continues.
Bum, bum, bum. And let's get to this. The evil laugh, the evil fingers of Montgomery Burns. Excellent. Bullies. Stephen King, he's a great author, but he has a problem. He writes bullies like they're psychopaths. Are there bullies that are like that? Yes, they are. But guess what? They are rare. Yes, Stephen King is prominent, and I love his work. I'm sorry, but the Overlook Hotel still has its shadow over me. His work is really good, but he can't write a bully right. And a lot of book authors, inspiring, and writers in general, when we try to learn how to write, sometimes we like to study the best and learn from the best. And this is me saying, don't copy Stephen King's writing of bullies. Not just this one, just this one. Him writing characters, mwah. I tell you, that's a good meatball. But when it comes to bullies, hey, send this back to the chef. Bullies in media in particular are very poorly done. It's either the harshest of harsh extremes, the Nelson Muntz to Biff, and everything in between. Yes, those bullies exist. I'm not denouncing that. But again, bullying is far more complicated. I believe I can help you. What authority do I have in this? Nothing. Really, I'm not a writer, I'm not a director. However, I know the spectrum of a bully. I have been the bully and the bullied. It's a very unique world that no one cares to go into. Why? They're jerks. And honestly, we like bullies in literature. We like to hate them. And there's nothing wrong with that. I want this to be more natural. It's not as easy as everyone depicts it, because bullying is unique. It's a world of two halves. The individual bully and the group of bullies. And the group is actually a safer bet than the individual. Why is it? It's because it's a group. The group, why they attack, we always see in the shows and movies and books, is because there's an outsider. And guess what? You're 50% right. However, when a group focuses on an outsider, it's not a good enough anchor. They'll be there for a bit, then they'll go to someone else. But if they want them to latch on and hang out at the outsider a bit more, it will be because of the reaction more than them being an outsider. The right words or the right phrase that can make the outsider give a certain reaction that feeds the group. It's a fire, if you will. You're just feeding the fire more and more sticks because you're giving them the right reactions. If that individual stops their reactions and just learns to control themselves, the group will just find another victim. And that's the point when it comes to group bullies. They like victims, but yet the victims can only do so much for the group. And that's the safe bet of a group, because there's a second half of the group, and that is this. If you stand up to the center or the friend of the center of the group, They will recruit everyone together and attack. This bully group mentality is very unique, and sometimes the people of the group may not understand they're being the bully. I didn't understand that. I was just following friends because they're my friends. And to help you understand a bit why that I was able to, I admit this, I'm a follower. I'm not that much of a leader. It's a sad thing to admit, but also it's true. But if you want to understand a little bit more about me and how easy I can be a little swayed, try watching our series of Relating to Rome. Yes, it's 5 parts, but yet it helps you to understand a piece about me. And it puts me, the Bullfrog, in a very vulnerable state. It's a world that I don't think not that many people talk about, of learning disabilities. And I hope that all of you can see that Relating to Rome a bit, so that way you could understand a little bit more about the frog. Sorry for that for a bit, but this is a serious subject, bullies, and that. Me being a follower and add that piece of me made me so easy just to follow. But yet, the bullies and the group bullies has a weird mentality because Phineas and Ferb did it right. Buford, at the beginning of the show, he was the bully, but he evolved into becoming part of the group and part of the friendship. It is believable because it does happen. I was part of that group of bullies in elementary school. But in this middle school, that victim, our target, if you will, became one of my best friends. Bullying is such a weird subject. It can actually make enemies into best friends. And kudos to that guy. I'm sorry, but that is a strong man that is willing to take one of his bullies into a friendship just to help that other guy, just because there was someone he wanted to hang out with and he just wanted to go, hey, it's lunch. He used to pick on me, but yet he wasn't the ones really loud at it. Hey, Bullfrog, want to hang out? Sure. That is complicated. Individual bullies, this other side of bullying, is very unique in by itself. The individual we see a lot as the fisticuffs guy or the guy, give me your lunch money guy. If you want to write an individual bully, pay attention. This is probably the most organic way possible how a bully becomes a bully. And guess what? What happened to me with this guy is too perfect. Writers, please listen to this. And it's true. This is how the best bullies, the ones that leave a good impact, make themselves. It begins vulnerable. Because bullies, mankind, ourselves, we have this lizard brain where we just follow nature. And predators don't go after the big and strong. They go after the weak and vulnerable. What's weak? Okay, it's lunch, and there's that kid sitting in front of history class. Okay, wait, he has a book. Bambi? Talk about easy prey. Come on, sucker. That's how it happens. It's the target, it's vulnerability. But again, like I said about the groups, there's reactions. But individuals are very different than the group. Because with the individual, we give the right you have to have the right reaction. If not, the individual could veer off or linger a little bit longer, then veer off or latch on. And doing nothing is a very unique spot. You could either A, do nothing and the bully will get tired and go away. But if it's the right bully, the person that has that mentality of the lizard brain, they enjoy the person doing nothing because it gives a chance of getting away with it. This kid won't do it. So it can begin small, just words, just poking at the kid and feeding off the reaction of A, nothing, or B, giving them the right reaction. One of these two will feed up the bully to evolve to level 2. And level 2 is where words become more physical. Not with your fists, not yet, no. It becomes more physical when they can involve something throwing at it or something a little bit more violent. But with words or with something throwing at things. My bully threw carrots, and I gave him nothing. Yet he kept on doing it. And he knew he could get away with it. But once friends get involved, this can either A, evolve or devolve the bully. But my friends helped the bully evolve to a level 3. What made it so? The friends did nothing. They didn't tell a teacher, they just stayed put. And this just fed the bully to a point of arrogance and self-confidence. These two, what makes the bully worse. I can get away with throwing at peas. I can get away throwing food. I can get away making fun of what the victim, my target, is reading. I can get away with it. And friends could only make it worse if they do nothing. No interaction or no nothing. And this evolves to level 4. And that is the worst one. This is where the fists do come out. And yes, this is far more organic. And if you notice this, let's call it de-evolving. I know I've been saying evolution, but guess it is evolving to a point, but it's through de-evolution because the lizard brain is taking stronger and stronger and stronger to the point that arrogance and self-confidence gives an assurance that they can get away with it. This is the flow to build an organic bully. And this is where fisticuffs do come in. Lunch money bullies, they're okay, but it's all about the threat. But bullies that make it this point are far more prominent. And this is where your character can either make it or break it. How I got out of this was I continued doing nothing. I just took the punches. Of course, I had my guard up. And the bully was so arrogant and so self-confident that he could get away with murder and was getting away with punches. He was blind to the corner of his eye seeing the teacher. I saw the teacher, and I did nothing. So the blame was 100% the bully and only the bully. Yes, this is ways how to write bullies, but it's still multi-leveled. There's very prominent pieces where you see that bullies come from an abusive family. Yes, it's real. Yes, that does happen. And yet, here's the question. Why is it in America, I don't know about the rest of the world, but I know in America, there's this percentage, not big, but still a percentage of murderers that come from good places. How did this happen? This levels, I think, are responsible. My bully had a teacher. That stopped him. But I know he did, what I know for sure, he had a good brother. Because my bully went to his brother and complained that I suspended him when really he suspended himself. But the bully came at me and threatened me. You know what I did? I said, your brother got himself suspended. I did nothing. He tells me otherwise. I'm gonna hunt you down and I'm gonna make sure you don't hurt my little brother again. Talk to the principal and teacher and then listen to your brother. And then I booked it. Of course, that guy later apologized because he found out the truth. But I know my bully had a good brother. And that's the point. Bullies are complicated. Sometimes we create a bully when there never was one. That kid beating me up, I was at a vulnerable state. And before that, why I didn't tell the teacher was because of gym class. I stood up to a bully, and the whole class just ganged up on me. I just went from a whole class annexing me to the point where I wasn't in the game. I wasn't a part of anything. Making a person feel useless and nothing is far more worse than the person throwing the punches. It is an evil place to put a person in. And you do that and add on this bully, it puts me in a very beaten up, down, vulnerable state to the point that you could say a word and I call you a bully. This does happen. No one was the bully in this third part. 'Cause why? Again, I was beaten up down the ringer. No joke. There was a depression for a 13-year-old kid. That's rough. So when in a classroom a guy goes, "Hey, Brownie," bully. When he wasn't being a bully. He was just being himself, a nicknamer. And honestly, Brownie, that's not a bad name. Honestly, it's almost like a compliment. Who likes a good brownie? But yet, being beaten down and put into such a horrid state, we see bullies everywhere. And all we need is just Brownie. It's a beast. There's this other part of the reptile brain, and that is when we're at such a vulnerable state, the reptile brain takes over and goes into a defensive spot, and that is predator, when there was none. That guy was just trying to be a friend. And later on, I found out we were actually related. Our grandparents were actually brothers. If I wasn't beaten up and bullied, I swear I would probably gotten a lot more better. I probably would have gained another good friend. A really good friend, really. But that's what bullies can do. They can make someone that could be great into an illusion of a bully. And they don't know it. This is what they do. And honestly, sometimes we got to acknowledge it. Sometimes there's bullies when they're not bullies. And writers, take notes. This can actually help you create a better bully. Not this stereotypical Stephen King bully. Yes, they exist. Yes, they're psychopathic. Yes, Stephen King has a cliche problem. Those bullies are extremely rare and don't showcase them so prominently well. The bully focusing in on you and doing this doesn't happen immediately. It happens later on, not earlier on. And it depends how's your character reaction and position. What made the character a target? Outsider, yes, but reactions make them better bait for a bully. Please, if you want a bully, remember it's the reaction of how the victim or target feeds the bully. That's the point, feeding the bully. Whether it will be an evolution or the group just enjoying the reaction. And again, sometimes friendship does weave in. Sometimes a bully's being a bully. Sometimes the group is being a bully because they're helping their friends to someone that was standing up. Was the bully being the bully or was the bully not a bully? It depends on you. Just remember, this is so much more. I hope this can help you guys write. If this happens to the point where some of you guys go, wow, so bullies are far more unique than we give them credit for, I hope that happens. I mean, it's not a compliment to bullying, but yet it's ways how to actually understand bullying. And that is this. It's not the same scenario. What could help a bully? Talking to the teacher can stop a bully, or make a bully worse. That happened to me both times. Kid wanted to fight me, stood up, talked to the teacher. It was dissipated. Talked to the teacher, the whole class ganged up on me. It depends on the situation. Writers, understand the situation, understand the target, and understand the goal. See if it's evolutionary or not. Please. And those of you who have been bullied, as hard as this is to say, we have to, as hard of it as this to say, I can't help but say this. I am not thanking you, but I am, if I ever get the chance to see you, that particular guy that beat me up, I just want to say I learned from you, not how to write, but I learned how to be smart. I learned that I can take a hit. This is what I learned from being bullied. And from being the bully, I know I am sorry. And I also know that one of you forgave me. And I want to say thank you. Bullying is far more complicated, people. And I hope, writers, you do this right. A little serious subject, I know. But yet, hopefully you guys can understand that there's things that are far more complicated than they are. And until then, it's the Bullfrog and the Newt signing out. Oh yeah, Lannisters.